Hi, I'm Hanbit, and I'm a pastry chef from Korea. Hi everybody, it's Hanbit here. 안녕하세요, 조한빛입니다. In today's video, I'm going to talk about Petit Gateau. I'm not actually going to make one, but I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to explain how you would go about designing your own Petit Gateau. This is a question that many of my students have asked over the years. And it's a very difficult question because Petit Gateaux are advanced. They're very difficult, but it's good to know. So I've thought through the question and I'll lay it out. It's a long video, but bear with me and please watch till the end if you are interested in designing your own. So how do you go about designing your Petit Gateau, your own? I'm a pastry chef and I do make a lot of Petit Gateaux all the time. And obviously, I've got my own signature Petit Gateau. I've made lots of tutorials on them on my online website. And recently, I launched a 12 Petit Gateau package. So you can see that I've developed and designed lots of original Petit Gateaux. And I'm sure you will want to do the same at some point and make your own. So how do you do that? Here's the guideline that would help you design your own. First of all, why don't we talk about what a Petit Gateau is? Petit means small, gâteau means cake. It's French. So literally speaking, it means a small cake. And usually it refers to visually appealing, nice looking, aesthetically pleasing mousse cakes, small ones, right? And they have many layers inside, they have different textures, and they have a combination of flavors. It's basically a showcase of the pastry chef's skills. So for the small ones, we call them Petit Gateau, and for the larger ones, whole-size cakes, we call them entremet. The overarching design principle is the same for Petit Gateau and these large entremet, although they're slightly different. And in this video, I'll focus on Petit Gateau. So, how do you design your own Petit Gateau? Essentially, I think a Petit Gateau needs to tick 4 boxes. A, the structure. You need a decent structure, meaning you need a sensible structure. B, the texture. You need to think about texture. Usually, you would aim for a variety of textures, as you would want something hard and crunchy, as well as something soft. C, flavors. It's common to use more than one flavor in a Petit Gateau. D, finally, the aesthetics. It needs to be beautiful. It needs to be visually appealing. It's a dessert in the end. Now, I'll go through each of the criteria. Structure is very much related to texture, as you would think both at the same time, so I'll cover both. What's the general structure of a Petit Gateau? It's difficult to completely generalize because there's no set rule, and there's plenty of room for you to apply your creativity, but there are repeating patterns that are there for a reason. And this is a typical structure for a Petit Gateau. At the bottom, you would want something hard or crunchy. It's not only important from a texture perspective, but it's also there because something more solid at the bottom, that would give structural integrity. And then you would have some sort of biscuit, something soft, spongy, that blends well with the flavor of the Petit Gateau. And then above that, you would have some sort of jelly, confit, crémeux, that sits in the middle, is the insert. And encasing that would be the mousse. Finally, you would cover the mousse with either glaze or velvet spray. And the whole idea of applying the glaze or velvet spray is to provide a protective layer so that the mousse doesn't dry out, but it's also there because it makes it look nice. If you want to make it look really cool, then you can do some extra piping or add chocolate decoration. Now that I've explained the structure, let's take an example. Take a look at this. It's my signature Petit Gateau called Deep Black. The main flavor is black sesame, and I've paired it with raspberry flavor. Looking at the cross section, you have the black sablé base. It's basically a cookie base. It provides a solid base. Next, I've put a black sesame croustillant. It's not a must, but I did it because it helped in terms of enhancing black sesame flavor as well as giving a nice crunch in terms of the texture. Then comes the raspberry jelly and the black sesame crémeux. Then you have the black sesame surrounding the insert, and I've applied black glaze to it. So apart from the structure, if I analyze this from a texture perspective, you have something hard and crunchy at the bottom, right? You have the raspberry jelly and black sesame crémeux, which is soft and creamy. Finally, the mousse has the lightest texture. So this Petit Gateau has covered the whole range of textures. So this is how I designed my deep black Petit Gateau. So I've talked about structure and texture. And now going over to the flavors, I'll cover the flavors. To be honest, you can choose any flavor you wish to make a Petit Gateau. It's up to you. But if you want to add a bit of complexity, then I would recommend you to use 2 or more flavors and match them well. So a couple of examples. My mango passion Petit Gateau is my signature Petit Gateau. It pairs mango flavor with passion fruit. Mango is the main flavor for this Petit Gateau, and passion fruit is the sub flavor. Mango is rich and sweet, as you would know, so it's nicely balanced when you add passion fruit, which brings the tangy, acidic edge. And it's all about the balance. Another example would be my vanilla rum tart. Taking that as an example, I've used 3 flavors in this case: vanilla, rum, and caramel. Vanilla is the dominant flavor, with rum and caramel supporting it. Vanilla tends to be very warm, and so introducing rum gives a slightly earthy note, which enhances the vanilla. Now, the caramel gives a toasty, bitter flavor, which balances the vanilla sweet, creamy notes. Again, everything is nicely balanced and creates harmony, and that's the whole point. So when you think about flavor, try and choose the main flavor, and then a supporting flavor or supporting flavors that complement the main note. Talking about the final box, which is the visual aspect. This comes down a lot to what sort of silicone mold you use and what sort of technique you adopt. Some chefs prefer finishing off the mousse with mirror glaze rather than the velvet effect, as it looks nice and shiny. Personally, I think the velvet effect looks equally nice. It just gives a different vibe. And also there are shapes where the mirror glaze won't be the best option. So for example, let's take a look at my signature Petit Gateau called Peach Melba. You can see that I've used the velvet spray effect to finish it off. Had I applied the mirror glaze, what do you think would have happened? The shape of the silicone mold is such that the glaze would have made a puddle in the center, as there's a cavity. There are ways around it, but it does require more work. So the intuitive decision here would be to apply the velvet spray. Anyway, the chef's style and preference is very much reflected in the final design. I personally like using piping techniques, especially the pinecone piping as seen here on my red berry pavlova. It looks amazing, right? And I also like using the tourbillon technique, which is not only piped vertically, but I also pipe it horizontally, which gives a very different feel. So for my coffee chocolate hazel, the tourbillon piping was done vertically, like most people do. But here, for my lemon yuja, I piped it sideways, so horizontally, which is really nice, although it's significantly more difficult from a technical perspective. It's difficult to pipe it, but it looks very different. It gives a different feel. A couple more examples of piping on top would be my Pecan Lane and Black Forest Petit Gateau. Looking at Pecan Lane, it's a tart, and it's just basically piping pecan ganache montée on top. It's very effective. It's visually very effective, and it's not difficult at all. So why not? Over here is my Black Forest Petit Gateau, where I piped the chocolate ganache montée and pressed them between a couple of guitar sheets to give that kind of stone petal look. It really adds something extra that sets you apart from others and makes your Petit Gateau look much nicer. Now, talking about chocolate decorations, the use of chocolate decorations are very common for Petit Gateau, and if you want to make it look nice, you do need to use chocolate decorations. So you do need to practice and get used to tempering chocolate. There's no real shortcut here. You do need to use tempered chocolate for chocolate decorations. So I've covered the 4 pillars of building your own unique Petit Gateau. In the beginning, it's not easy to design your own Petit Gateau, but once you do a few, it becomes easier. By the way, I've launched quite a few online Petit Gateau courses over the past year, and I've recently launched a bundle course with 12 of my signature Petit Gateaus, and this package is 30% cheaper than buying them individually. And on top of that, I'm providing another 5% discount for my subscribers. So please check the description below for that, and I hope you enjoy the course. Anyway, that was quite a lot of talking on my end. I hope it was helpful, and I'll come back next time with an amazing recipe. Thank you very much. 감사합니다. For more YouTube videos, please click here. If you want to take a step further with your baking and pastry, then please visit my website on www.hanbitshow.com. Thank you very much. 감사합니다.